to Political Scream. Welcome to Political Scream.
Welcome
to Political Scream.
What I said, he said.
To
Hotless is here. I wish they would quit shocking me. Anyway, boo. So we've got tons of shit going on.
Oh my god.
What's going on? What's going on? I don't know. I think there's tons of shit going on.
Wake the fuck up!
I really think there is.
Oh my god. All I can say is, oh my god, I can't even hardly watch the news without wanting to throw up or cry.
Or choke someone to death, because that's my feeling.
I'm not
when
even
I feel
to
like
that
I need to
point yet.
puke, I want to choke someone to death.
I am not even to the choking.
That's me, like...
Anybody out yet?
I'll choke someone else to death, because then maybe I won't puke.
I mean, honestly, I don't know where to even start.
You don't know where to even start.
Okay, let's start with the inauguration.
Inauguration. Oh. What? The inauguration? What was wrong with the inauguration? I was moved. I cried 3 times.
Well, that's good for you. He had very small numbers, and then they came in and said that
Which
they
is
had...
very sad for that great speech that I heard. I mean...
Yeah.
If he was to stick to that speech, but that's not what I'm seeing here.
No. Actions speak louder than words. And
he's not sticking to the speech that he just said.
His words prior to the inauguration is what he is
stuck to. Yeah, he's building a wall, I heard.
Yeah, he is building a wall, and let me find that one real quick.
Is he building a wall? He's building a wall.
He's still claiming that he is
going
to...
there's a bunch of fascist Republicans behind this fascist wall in which we speak of.
Yeah, he is claiming...
I don't know.
He is still claiming that he's going to have no opposition in getting it built.
Okay, maybe it's not fascist. Maybe we need to, hold these people back, man.
Millions of dollars per mile.
Millions of dollars per mile on our bill, not Mexico's.
No, he claims Mexico's going to pay it back later, trust him. And New Jersey's governor has offered his prison population for free to build it.
Missouri's governor?
No, New Jersey's.
New Jersey's governor
I'm pretty sure it was New
is
Jersey's,
sending his inmates there to
so that he could
build the wall.
Happily have his state inmate population.
Have they not read my Citadel Project program where you contain the borders using the border crossing people? Anyway. So he's not doing any of that.
The problem with all of this is
there is no catching immigrants.
There is a tribe.
Giving them the option to work on the wall and gain citizenship in 2 years.
No, they get shipped out. They all get gathered up, build the wall, and then get shipped out with no pay and no nothing. And then Mexico...
They don't get offered a job and citizenship in 2 years to help build the wall.
Nope. It's their punishment.
That's in my plan.
That is their punishment.
That was in my plan. That was my plan.
That's fine, but That is their punishment for being here illegally.
You'd be fine with that? No. If I offer them citizenship in 2 years to help build the wall?
I'm not fine with the wall.
But I'm saying, if there is a wall...
There are
people down there, they're claiming... There's video of it, of people that are, like, guarding their own fucking backyard because they're moving north.
They were originally here north.
But they're moving north into our civilized areas and taking over our backyards.
They're not camping in people's backyards.
No, they're taking over the backyards.
The point I'm trying to say
pushing their border north.
Is where the problem of this is going to be is there are reservations where they have 75 plus miles that go into the Mexican territory. They are multi-country reservations.
Well, let the immigrants go through the reservation hole, and then they can be responsible for it.
It's going to be pretty much if they try to put... They've already stated that it's going to be over
their migrant hole?
Their dead bodies.
A migrant hole.
That they split their...
Migrants come through there and just get shot as they cross into U.S. land. I don't know. I'm just saying, that Trump will build his wall around them and, just ixnay their whole... And then they're cut off from the United States. He would just fucking probably wall them right in with Mexico and go, yep, this is the new Mexican-U.S. border right here. I mean, we've got people... Aren't there people in office that are fighting him right now?
Yes.
What are they doing?
God.
What are they doing? What are they doing?
Well, they're saying
they're
saying that they're going to vote and block anything that has to do with the wall. That is what they're saying.
Oh, so the video I saw on TV is just propaganda.
I don't know what video
construction of the wall isn't actually started already.
Well, no, it has, and that's the thing. It's been started since Bush.
Right. And I watched this little documentary about it, is that basically they're able to build the wall so far, and then funds get stripped away from them to do it, and then they build it so far, and then they, Well, and then there's like one area, there's several areas in that video where there's like a whole Indian village, Mexican Indian village, just sitting next to this wall, and it's just got these big gaping holes in it everywhere.
Right, that's because they can't put it right directly through, and because they're on the border, and half their town's American, and half their town is on the Mexican side. They cannot. It'd be like
trying to put a border through the north border, because we have towns that are like half Canadian and half American.
And that's how it is on the Mexican-American border.
It'd be like putting up a Berlin Wall, man. That shit, you saw what the Berlin Wall did. That was in one little small area of the world.
And that's what they're wanting to basically do here.
Is put up a Berlin Wall.
With snipers on the thing, man, and just shoot them all. And the Mexican,
Nazi Germany.
The Mexican president has declared that if that happens, he is going to send everybody to the wall. And it will become a new Mexican-American war. It will. He's already said, if it goes the way Donald Trump is trying to make it go, and it starts going that way,
then there's a Mexican-American war.
I'm arming everybody, and they're going to the border.
Well, there you go, South. There's what you were looking for.
And
you wanted war, you got war.
That was the Mexican president.
It's coming. It's coming. You wanted it, you wish for it, you want to end it, yeah, it's coming. Okay, so what's next on the plate?
All right, well, we've got the pipeline.
Oh, wait, is this the shit in the week past? No,
yeah, this has all been within the last few days.
Okay, in the last few days. So we'll just wait for halfway through the show, and then we'll just play the other extra. And then that would be like, in the week past. And then we'll just keep talking about what we're talking about. Because this shit is all recent.
It's all been since Monday.
All since Monday. Okay, what else has happened since Monday?
President Trump has...
he's still President Trump until he's impeached.
God. Anyways.
Even if he's a smock mark in time space, he still has that... Is that he was the, 45th president.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he has, on the pipelines, he has stopped... He has stopped
what?
everything.
Like, how many hours has it been now that he's been in office?
Well, he got inaugurated on Friday. He didn't do any business on the weekend. He said that his first day didn't start until Monday. Because the inauguration was Friday. So he didn't start doing his presidential duties until Monday.
Okay, so
because it's Donald Trump. He gets the weekend off on the first fucking day. Unlike probably any other president in history. Who at least actually
did something the first day.
Yeah. So yeah, he's like, I don't work Saturdays and Sundays. Monday will be my first day. So after the inauguration, he went and did whatever the fuck he did. Monday.
That was all the build-up deals that he was signing on Monday.
Mm-hmm. So
he spent the weekend whining and dining with the people that he was blowing whoever
companies
to get deals that he signed, which were mainly oil deals. I saw oil deals. More oil deals. I don't get any oil money.
Right. He reversed.
Where's my oil money? I want oil money. If all this shit's being done on U.S. dollars, I want my oil money. Do you not want your oil money? I want my oil money. Anyway, go ahead.
He reversed Obama's stop on the pipelines. All of them. Keystone included. Now, you've got to understand that right before the inauguration, they moved in an air-to-ground, or ground-to-air missile system right in front of the camp. You would not believe how militarized it is for like 1,000 unarmed people.
Indians.
Not even.
And
not all.
Mixed everybody.
Everybody. There's
all kinds of people there.
A majority of them are First Nations, but there are other races there too. But so they're going to be going ahead and be clearing out the Native Americans and protesters and water protectors out by any means necessary, I'm sure.
On federal land. How is that even possible?
Some of it, it's on private land.
It's not even possible. That's fascism right there. Fascism.
And he's creating jobs.
Ah, dude.
He's using the creating jobs.
We're going oil?
Right.
Because you and I will never see those fucking jobs.
No! And he's like, we'll put the steel workers to job. They'll make the pipeline.
They'll make the pipe. There's a lot of steel workers out of jobs right now. But they've got machines that will do it, and it will only employ 100,000 people across the country.
And they're factory workers, not really steel workers.
Yeah.
They could run any factory
Industrial line workers. Not even tradesmen. They only need like one or two here or there to...
Yeah. So, there's another tinderbox.
Bullshit.
Over the last couple days that has been lit. So, we've got the wall. We have the pipeline. So now we go to, look at this. Senior Trump administration staffers, including Kellyanne Conway, Jared Kushner, Sean Spicer, and Steve Bannon, have active accounts on the Republican National Committee email system. The system, rnchq.org, is the same one that the George W. Bush administration was accused of using to evade transparency rules after claiming to have lost, quote-unquote, 22 emails. Making use of separate political email accounts at the White House is not illegal. In fact, they serve a purpose by allowing staff to divide political conversations from actual White House work. So there's their excuse to it, but after then-candidate Donald Trump and the Republicans repeatedly called for locking up Hillary for handling government work with a private server while Secretary of State, a new White House staff risked repeating the same mistake that dogged the Democrats' presidential campaign. So basically, he is doing what he threw a big fit about the Democrats doing.
That's fucked up, man.
Yeah. But it's okay that his staffers are doing it. As well
as... What the fuck kind of shit is that?
The Republican Party. Alright, so now we'll move on to Planned Parenthood and the abortion issue. Now, he has reinstated this worldwide gag rule of not putting federal funding into foreign abortions. But the thing is, we've never put federal money into foreign abortions. Now, we have into sex education. We have into providing contraceptives and women's services and freaking hole-in-the-wall places that have nothing, not even running water. So he's cut funding from that, claiming that it was to stop us funding abortions that we weren't funding.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, it's like our portion, taxpayer money into that is like a couple of cents a piece. So this wasn't cutting something from the budget that actually affects the budget. He basically just cut 2 cents off the budget by cutting that $31 million a year that we send out for emergency women's services in desolate places that would not have it any other way.
That's fucking bullshit.
Okay,
Instead of cutting all the extraneous government jobs.
Or our military
extraneous
spending.
Government jobs.
Or pull our troops out of the 9 freaking countries we're bombing right now. No, he wants to expand that, but he's wanting to cut women's services to help fund that.
Because he needs more war money.
Right. So now...
Awesome. So we got another war machine fucking president. Yeah. Great.
Now we have this...
Oh, now we have...
Flashback. Looking back to the last week of news.
Looking back. Triangulated from multiple news sources.
Flashback.
Looking back.
The left wing, the right wing, and everything in between.
Looking back. You're listening to Looking Back by Political Scream. Looking back.
Brought to you by Backhand Studios.
Looking back. We're looking back.
Okay, well, we're not looking back too far because everything's happened in the last 3 days. So now...
You made that anticlimactic, I'm just saying.
I know, I'm sorry. So now, we're talking on the abortion and women's services on the worldwide level. Now we're going to talk about it on the local level. He's wanting to completely defund Planned Parenthood because they do abortions. Now, with very few exceptions for rape victims and women whose pregnancies could kill them, no federal dollars are allocated to pay for abortions. Period. None. Not a single fucking cent.
You know what that means, fellas? You better cover your willies, because the women ain't covering it no more.
Even your state doesn't fund abortions unless you're in a handful
You best cover your willies, because the women can't cover it no more. They just cut them off.
You know, they already did it. They did it in 1976. They kept the federal funding, tax dollars from funding abortions. These are the things you're actually defunding when you defund Planned Parenthood. You're defunding pap smears, breast exams, flu vaccines, prostate cancer screenings, support to quit smoking.
That's guys with butthole problems.
Sexual education, access to safe and effective birth control.
It teaches you what dicks not to suck. And that's important for guys and girls, depending.
Cholesterol testing.
Yeah.
STI screenings.
You don't want high cholesterol.
Diabetes screening.
So basically everything
UTI
that free
screenings.
medical services offer.
Treatment of yeast infections.
So
Pregnancy
basically
tests,
the free clinic is going to shut
counseling,
down.
high blood pressure, erectile
Wait.
dysfunction,
What you're
mammograms,
saying the free
physicals.
clinic is going to shut down.
Yeah.
Free clinics.
They're going to become a lot
Gone
less.
bye-bye.
They're going to be a lot more limited. A lot more limited.
Gonzo.
Under the alternative facts, which is,
means
like
lies.
the inauguration was the biggest crowd ever in all inaugurations. That's an alternative fact. They're saying at the White House as fact.
Although they've got pictures of what certain numbers of people.
Oh yeah, and the transportation department has figures, and all these figures have been added up, and it was like a third the crowd of any other inauguration. There were more protesters on the streets in this country protesting him the next day, that day and the next day, than there was at the inauguration. Yeah. Alternative facts, though.
Alternative facts means lies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
An alternative fact is bullshit.
Yeah.
There's only one fact.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so now we're going to look at Chicago real quick. Trump did a vague tweet threatening to send in the feds if Chicago cannot get a handle on its rampant gun violence, left law enforcement agencies scrambling Wednesday to read between the lines. In an exclusive telephone interview with the Tribune, Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson said he was baffled by the meaning of the president's tweet, which was sent Tuesday night, last night, folks, as the city's latest violence statistics were being aired on national cable news. The statement is so broad, I have no idea what he's talking about, Johnson said. At the White House Daily Briefing Wednesday afternoon, Press Secretary Sean Spicer sought to clarify Trump's remark, telling reporters that the president was upset about turning on the television and seeing Americans get killed by shootings, but giving no indication the president was close to ordering in troops. What he wants to do is provide the resource of the federal government, and it can span a bunch of things. There's no one thing. There can be aid, if it was requested, up through the governor through the proper channels that the federal government can provide. So basically
police action.
If they ask for it.
If they ask for
it.
You want police action? Okay, we got you some police action. That's what you need? That's what you need, giving these guys guns? That's what you need.
This is what his actual tweet said. If Chicago doesn't fix the horrible carnage going on, 228 shootings in 2017 with 42 killings, up 24% from 2016, I will send in the feds. That was his tweet after he watched the news. What the hell do you think the feds are going to be able to do about a bunch of people that are so messed up with PTSD from this society and the poverty and the laws that we have here that have got people so suppressed, oppressed, and have post-traumatic stress disorder? What the fuck do you think the feds are going to be able to do about it? What, come in and strong-arm everybody? Because it sure as hell isn't going to solve the problem.
No.
That is being...
It will not solve the problem.
Reactionary. That is reactionary. It does not...
They create the problem. They know how to solve the problem. And it's not with force. It's with giving jobs and money back to the people.
Exactly. I even heard on NPR today, somebody was talking about that was what needed to be done. Not send in the freaking troops and militarize Chicago, which has a gun ban, by the way. You're not technically allowed to own a gun in the city limits.
That's crazy.
So, Chicago, which has the highest gun crime, has a gun ban. Just saying.
the highest gun crime.
And they blame it on the surrounding areas, going, well, all of our counties around us don't have a gun ban. It's too easy to just go across out of town and get a gun. So they're trying to spread the no gun
free zone virus.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, can't have a gun-free zone on my or a gun zone on my border because people can just walk across and get a gun and then come back into our gun-free zone. Well, then don't make it a fucking gun-free zone. Gun-free zone is just
bullshit fascism.
Putting a target on everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody that's law-abiding.
Everywhere that's been hit by mass killers has been a gun-free zone. Every last one of them.
Exactly. Use
your brains, people.
All right, so now on to environment.
We're down to 18 minutes.
All right, well, we have the environment. And not only, of course, we know that new administration, they revamped the Washington White House.org thing, blah, 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 blah. Well, not only did he take down the climate change policy on the whitehouse.gov site, he has put a gag order on the EPA, all of our national forestry, our National Forestry Department, all of our scientists that are paid for by the government, the USDA. There is a tweet.
Gag orders, meaning these agencies that we pay for are now no longer allowed to talk to us.
They're not allowed to publish any articles. They're not allowed to tweet.
Why is it we're paying for something we don't get to hear about?
Now, their excuse is going, well, this is actually okay because they want everybody to be on the same page. Well, no. Alternative fact. Nobody has ever told them to quit communicating with the public while everybody gets their ducks in the row when an administration switches over. That is not these agencies. I can see that when it's other agencies, not these agencies. Thank you. Sure. So, we have a few rogue parks. A few rogue parks that have been tweeting out environmental facts ever since the ban went on. They even created alternate accounts so that they can continue to post environmental and scientific facts. It's been equated with 1984 between the alternative facts issue with the numbers at the inauguration and all of that to this
I don't want to be in a world of fake science, man, that's just paid off lies by the highest corporate bidder. It's bullshit. Our children deserve better than that.
Yo, most definitely. He's planning on defunding PBS and NPR. Which might explain why Jim Henson's crew moved Sesame Street to HBO. And a preemptive, oh my god, he's going to do this, so we better get our foothold somewhere else now before it's too late. And the price goes way up. Oh, so now we've got Betsy DeVos. Now, do we all know who she is?
No.
It says it's his pick for the Secretary of Education.
Okay, what about the broad?
Well, she had her confirmation hearings.
Does she let him grab her by the pussy?
Most likely. She's a billionaire Republican fundraiser and activist from Michigan.
She thinks it's fun that he grabs her by the pussy.
She's a champion for vouchers and expanding charter schools.
And being grabbed by the pussy. There's those types of women. There's the ones that like to be grabbed by the pussy, and there's the ones that don't. You know, I can see how Trump could think that would work. 9, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. 1 time out of 10. But,
Well, it's the quality of women that he's grabbing by the pussy. He's grabbing the women that are weak, the ones that think that their looks are everything. They have built a career and their lives around their looks. A lot of them have fake bodies, and a frown from him can destroy their career. Those are the women that he grabs by the pussy.
That's pathetic.
It is fucking pathetic.
Okay, so how can I be Donald Trump? I'm just saying. I want to be Donald Trump. I want to grab women by the pussy, run around, wave my pen, and cause black men to have ass rapings. You know,
and
come
enslave
on.
Mexicans.
Enslave Mexicans and build walls around my commode.
You're a freak. So,
I'm just saying.
On that note, let's talk about Trump's abusive body language.
I know, it's so abusive.
No, he actually... There's a lot with his body language, and body language people have been coming out going, look at how he treats his wife. Look at how his wife looks at him. She smiles, all big and pretty while he's looking at her, nodding. But as soon as he turns his head, her face just collapses into a, oh my God, somebody help me. He's rude. He gets out of the car. In these social situations, he is supposed to be the perfect gentleman. He is supposed to go around, help his wife out of the car, escort her up, like with the Obamas, when he met the Obamas at the transition. He just got out of the car, went up and greeted the Obamas. Not how you're supposed to treat your wife in a social situation that is that, what is the word I'm looking for? Proper. There are proper etiquette in that particular level of society that he did not
breaking down
follow.
How he got out of the car.
Yeah, we are. And how the fact that he didn't even glance over his shoulder
I don't
to
open
see...
the door for you when we get out of the car.
Oh, no, not when I get out of the car, but we're not in a formal situation.
Well, even if we were in that, I don't think that I would open the door.
You would at least glance back to see if I was coming up the steps okay. You've done that when we've walked up steps and you're ahead of me. You have at least glanced over your shoulder. He didn't even do that. He did not even look over his shoulder to see if she was coming up those stairs okay.
This poor bastard's going through the coals now. Damn. You got the mother hen cold.
The way he held her when they were dancing. She was pulled away at the front like this.
Well, what do you expect from a mail order bride? I mean, you guys are expecting way too much from a mail order bride.
Oh, and then there is the... Okay, over the years, they were celebrating her...
You're expecting too much from a mail order bride. I've seen those catalogs. She's one of the chicks who was in the catalog when I was in the clink. You know what I'm saying? That was years ago. So she's been in there and tossed around a while in the women's catalog.
ABC, I think it was, that was doing a...
I've seen that bitch before in the women's catalog. I'm just saying.
I think it was...
She was for sale. It was like $32,000 or something. I'm just saying.
I know you're just saying. Can I talk now?
Do you not think what I am saying is reality? There are these magazines that go around in
I'm not denying it. But I had a thought. Now I'm losing it.
Where you can buy women. You can buy women. Not in prison, obviously. But if you get this material and these connections out, then you could buy your own women. You lost what thought?
The thought I was trying to get out that you kept interrupting.
But I was trying to make a point about the fact that people are buying women.
ABC. So ABC was doing this freaking special on all their interviews that they did with Melania, right? Every one of them, he was sitting next to her like this. Seriously.
The
all crunched.
Can't see you.
I know, but I'm going to describe it, so be quiet. All scrunched over like a toad, glaring at the people that were interviewing her, not touching her, not going, look at my wonderful wife and the things she's doing. No, glaring at the people that are interviewing her while sitting right next to her, all squashed over like a toad. Glaring. Through like 10 years of fucking interviews. It was like 10 years worth of these clips, and not a single one of them was she on there by herself.
Because she is a purchased... again, you
yeah,
can buy women...
Yeah, because you don't want to go,
you can
somebody
buy
help
women,
me, and somebody help her escape him.
Okay, I guess you're missing the big picture here.
I'm
care. Trying to explain that there is a subculture where you can buy wives, and it's disturbing, I know. And you keep blocking it out. And I'm trying to explain to you.
You have explained it.
I
listened.
have witnessed
I had
material that said I could buy a wife for X amount of dollars, and I've seen this paperwork before. And she's obviously a purchased wife, and either A, and generally in those situations, the family got the money, and she's expected to adhere to the money that the family inherited through her being... I mean, that's... Yeah. And these are those cultures, and in some of those cultures it's acceptable, other ones it's illegal. But the point is that there was, like, women of every culture in these fucking things. There was Japanese women, there was Russian women, there was fucking... And I'm just looking at this thing going, this is like a missing woman sheet that I'm looking at with marriage fucking numbers.
No, that is. You're looking at human trafficking catalog.
So does that give him an excuse not to be a gentleman towards her?
In public!
Seriously!
I'm saying is that
public!
Even beyond that, none of that
exists.
should be real to even begin with, because she's obviously property, which is illegal. It's a crime. So I took it beyond what you two are even talking about, and you're still bringing it back to... He should have opened that goddamn door.
Well, if not opened the door, at least waited for her to come around the car and
we
then
wouldn't
walk
be
up
talking
the
about
stairs.
him buying his wife. If he had walked her to that door, we would not right now be talking about the fact that he bought his wife. And she's a servant to him, obviously. And then you slapped on top of that he fucking hawks every video she's been in. We're down to 7 minutes.
Right, well, no.
Oh my god.
I've got to say.
I'm just saying it's obvious that his wife is a piece of property.
But on that, I'm not going to argue that.
And everybody should see that, and that's a definite sign. It's a definite sign that she's property.
But what I was going to say was that had he just waited to where he got out on the limo and waited for her to come around, that would have been acceptable too. As she was a strong enough woman to let herself out of the car, but then he escorts her up the stairs because they're both greeting them together. They were as...
Okay. I'm just still stuck on the fact that he's got a bought wife and she's being prostrated to the world.
It's
and
horrible.
Nobody can see it.
No, there are lots of them. There are women...
I mean, covering it up a little bit more.
Nobody can see that she's a purchased wife.
No, there are a lot of women that are talking about it. There are a lot of women that are going, oh my god, this is like triggering my PTSD. He looks and acts, his body language and how he's treating her and how she's reacting is just like when I was, this narcissistic asshole I was married to that beat me on a regular basis. There are women that are suffering PTSD episodes from what they're seeing with their behavior.
Okay. So, alright.
Yeah.
Trump is not a gentleman. We'll strike that one off the list.
Not by any means.
Alright. And next on the list, we've got 5 minutes and 40 some odd seconds.
I think we pretty much covered the first 3 days of him working that I am aware of. That I can
covered the first... We covered it all. We covered it all, right? We covered it all. What about those guys, Resist? What was that? Greenpeace.
Greenpeace. Yeah, that was over them. They were protesting him backing the pipelines and trying to send it through. So in D.C., there were a couple thousand people gathered and protested in front of the White House. And then Greenpeace climbed up this monster-like skyscraper crane and put up a tarp that said resist.
Wow.
When it comes to Valentine's gifts, help
Okay. No dapple.
No dapple.
No dapple. What do you got to say about no dapple?
What do I have to say about no dapple?
Exxon pipeline and
we should
Dakota
not be
pipeline.
sacrificing our water and our people's lands and sacred lands to carry oil to be sold in another fucking country. It's another country's oil traveling through our country to go to another country. No. No, no, no. And they're digging up sacred sites, they're digging up people's freaking graves to put this in with no regards of anything. So to hell with Dapple. And all the other pipelines. And they're busting. We have more oil leaks than we ever did when we were shipping them by train and by semi.
Because you have individuals monitoring it all, and if it breaks, it's only X gallons versus hundreds of millions of gallons.
Exactly. Thousands upon thousands to up to billions of gallons. Yeah.
Logic on that one.
Well, logic seems to be evading.
Elusive.
It's elusive to our government
alternate
and
facts.
our people. Oh,
Alternate facts.
Alternative facts, yep.
Alternative facts. Alternative facts. Alternative facts, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So anyway,
White House insiders spoke to the Washington Post, and it turns out that there seems to be a little bit of a divide in Trump's administration. It turns out that some people disagree with things like strategy and messaging, and I love this kind of drama, so let's get into it. Now, first, where did this information come from? According to the Washington Post, the account of Trump's tumultuous first days in office comes from interviews with nearly a dozen senior White House officials and other Trump advisors and confidants, some of whom spoke on the condition of anonymity to describe private conversations and moments. Now, the most interesting part about all of this was the internal discussion regarding the Women's March. Now, of course, Donald Trump was publicly dismissive of the march. He made it seem as though it was much to do about nothing. But behind the scenes, he was apparently furious. So Trump has been resentful, even furious, at what he views as the media's failure to reflect the magnitude of his achievements, and he feels demoralized that the public's perception of his presidency so far does not necessarily align with his own sense of accomplishment, right? So apparently he saw the marches and, juxtapose the gigantic marches with the audience for the inauguration, and he wasn't happy. So he goes to Sean Spicer, and he's like, yo, you're going to go, and you're going to release a strong statement about this. And Spicer is like, no. And apparently there were people behind the scenes that are like, this is not a good idea. But he pushed Spicer to do it, and it ended up being a disaster. So over the objections of his aides and advisors, who urged him to focus on policy and the broader goals of his presidency, the new president issued a decree. He wanted a fiery public response, and he wanted it to come from his press secretary. So on Sunday, Spicer did give a statement, and apparently it was a disaster. He was fumbling and bumbling, and it seemed like he didn't want to read a written statement. He was pausing too much, and Trump was upset about that. And so there was a lot of pressure on Spicer to really deliver that following Monday during a press conference. And apparently he did. Now, in regard to the Sunday statement that Spicer issued, apparently he hesitated over,